make communication work. Okay. Do you need a break? Huh? What do you think? How many of you need a break? Nobody? All right. We'll continue. And also, when you use your cell phone, okay, I don't know if that happens to you. You use your cell phone. Do you feel headache? A little bit headache?
No.
Close to your ear? Nobody? No one? God, I'm the only person. It's too close to my ear, I feel headache. So I have to use speaker. I cannot. Or I use speaker to talk. When you use cell phone, I hate to put to my ear.
You can use a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, Bluetooth is another good solution too. Because sometimes, when the cell phone, right? When you have a cell phone, right? When you answer phone calls, right? The cell phone will detect the strength of the signals. If you are so far away from the cell phone tower, and the cell phone must send out strong signals so they can catch your signal. If that's the case, the radiation it sends out could be strong. And I don't think that's a good idea, right? So I better use a speaker. And also, okay, I don't have a cell phone with me now. So this is a cell phone, right? When you answer the phone call, usually the radio waves, the analog signal goes out that way, right? Not goes this way. So never turn it around to you because that goes to you. Okay? So in the long run, you want to be careful for that.
Question.
Uh-huh.
So when you're not taking a phone call with the analog signal still there, very strong, or just
Okay.
the signal?
When you,
When it's idle?
very good question. When you are not talking, right?
Mhm.
Stand by, your cell phone stand by. Your cell phone will detect where you are in which cell, because your cell phone, there are many cells. Each cell is managed by a cell phone tower. They send a signal to make sure all the cell phones are connected. So they will send out some signal to make sure you are here. If you drive or you move to another cell, they will switch from this tower to another tower. So still it's on, the signal is coming, it's on. Only when you answer phone calls, the signal becomes strong because you want lots of communication. But when you are not talking, the signals are there. I don't mind to carry a cell phone, because you're gonna carry your cell phone, right? But when I answer phone calls, I prefer to use speaker. Because at that time, the signal becomes very strong. All right? All right, let's talk about the speed. What determines the speed? All right? Now, when you have an internet service, do people ask you or do people tell you, what's your speed? How fast is your connection? How many bits per second? That's the way we measure the speed. Not the bytes, how many bits per second, okay? 5 gigabits per second, 10 gigabits, 1 terabyte bits per second. Okay, that's pretty much speed, okay? Now, so how do we determine the speed? First of all, let's start with this very general concept, okay? Electricity, okay? Now, can we say both digital and analog signals, they travel at the same speed in different media? Can I say that? That's speed of electricity. Does anybody know what's the speed of electricity? Anybody with a physics major? No, not here, right? Okay, how about in high school? It's very fast anyway, right? It will circulate the Earth like 7.5 times per second. That's the speed of electricity. Very high speed. If that's the case, how come when we have signals, we say, oh, this connection is faster than that one, has higher speed? Because they travel at the same speed. So what's the concept? How do we tell if this service or that media has more speed than that one, this one, and so on and so forth? Okay, so I'm going to explain to you. They have the same speed no matter how. They transmit the same speed, okay? And then we use the bits per second to measure the speed. Also, we use a frequency, transmitting frequency, we use hertz to measure. You have different radio channels, right? What's the radio channel you use all the time? Do you listen to radio?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the number of your radio channel?
106.
Huh? Can you tell me one?
106, 105.9.
105.9. This must be a music channel. Am I correct? Is that megahertz or kHz? Do you know that? Should be megahertz, I think. 105.9 megahertz. That's the channel, right? That's the channel of that station. Any other? Any channel that's not music, is like talking.
710.
710. That should be kHz. I will explain why I can tell that. Right? Now this is what? This is like the frequency. They send analog signals. Okay, what is frequency? Say this is 1 second. This is considered one complete wave of analog signal. So what's the frequency for this wave? What's the frequency?
1.
1. Clear. 1, right? Why 1? 1 wave per second. 1. Okay? Now, if I change it a little bit, 2 waves. So what's the frequency for this signal? 2. You understand? Look at this. 105.9 megahertz. That's the frequency for this signal. So in other words, how many waves do they have sending out every second for this one? 1.9 megahertz. What's the frequency? 105 million times per second. Million. So in other words, if I use this chart, I cannot show it because just so many. It's like going up and down crazy. Right? Lots of vibration in 1 second. So this is considered very high frequency. Am I correct? High frequency. Now this 710, I believe is a kHz. This is actually 710,000 times per second. Which one has a higher frequency? The top one or the lower one? Which one? This is a mega. This is a K. Mega is a million. K is 1,000. Which one's higher? Huh? Megahertz. Higher. Okay? When you have a higher frequency, what does that mean? High vibration. So like a person like move fast, like one person like jogging, another person walking. Which one has more energy? Which one? Jogging. You need more energy, right, to jog. Walking is like a little bit slower. So which one has more energy? The first one. Okay? More energy means what? The signal can penetrate. Make sense? Can penetrate wooden building, can penetrate trees, penetrate drywall maybe, not thick concrete. Better, right? This can penetrate more. You follow me? So the energy is stronger, they penetrate, they go straight to you. So this is typical music channel. They want you to hear clear music. Make sense? Now this signal, weaker, does not penetrate very well. You don't care. Anyway, it's a talking radio, talk. You don't need, you don't care about how nice the voice is, just talking, right? So this is a typical talking channels. Now, although sometimes the talking channel can transmit to a long distance, because, you know, in the Adams field, there's an iron field, the signal will bounce back when they hit it. It's like it's kind of a piece of metal there, they bounce back. So sometimes you hear this type of channel, weak, lower frequency, they can bounce back from, say, they send out signal from Texas and bounce back to California, possible, but the signal quality is not good. But this type of channel, radio, the radio channel, the music channels, usually is a local, and usually the signal is on the line of sight, means it's on top mountain, and they cover the whole city. So anybody who can see that tower will receive a clear signal. So that's a typical music channel. This is a typical, say, talking radio. Is that okay? So in other words, when you, I don't know if you have that experience, when you go to a basement, you go to an elevator, there's no signal because it's blocked. You have concrete, both signal can be blocked, okay? So if, like I mentioned earlier, if you happen to live nearby the radio tower, cell phone tower, see the frequency, so strong frequency sent out to cover the whole city, and you are just next to it. That's not a good idea, right? All right, so if you happen to be in that position, you know, I probably want to keep away from that. All right, so that's the frequency and that's the speed. Okay, now how do we make connection of this? Let me talk about this. How do we measure the speed first? Then we talk about what's the relationship between those. Now, as you can see, speed, bits per second, okay? How many bits you send out per second? So in a digital channel, it looks like this. This is 1 second. Okay, obviously you can see how many bits are there. In 1 second, how many bits?
4.
4 bits. 1, 0, 0, 1. So the speed is 4 bps for this signal, right? Am I correct? All right. Now for frequency, for analog signals, it's like this. In 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also 4 bits per second, right? Because each one is like 1 signal. Okay? So that's how we measure the speed. Now, since they travel at the same speed, now why this service has higher speed? It's not how fast they travel, it's how many they can use to carry signals. Do you understand? So if you have 2 channels, 1, 2, 2 channels, each one has 4 bits per second. 4 bits per second. You got 2. What's your speed? 2 channels. Okay. Each channel can send out, this is 1 second, right? 4 bits per second. 4 bps. 4, right? If you have 2 channels, what's the speed now? 8 bits per second. Does that make sense? You double the speed. Okay, let me repeat this. You have 1 channel, right? Say 1 wire, say just 1 wire, okay? You send out 4 bits per second. That's the speed, right? You receive 4 bits every second, 4 bits. You add another wire. What's the speed together? 8 bits per second. Did you just double the speed? You follow me? But they travel at the same speed, right? The same time. But it's okay, you add more channels. That's how it works. That's why you have higher speed, lower speed. Do you know your speed of your internet connection? 5 megabits per second means there are many channels. Maybe many channels. Maybe 1 channel can handle so many traffic. Okay, do you understand? Even they travel the same speed. They travel the same speed, but different signals, and also different channels. And that's how we measure the speed. Does that make sense? Is that possible that, okay, let me give you another example. This is 1 second. We send how many bits per second? Use the same example. How many bits? 4 bits. Is that fair to say the speed of this channel is 4 bits per second? Can I say that? Okay, now. At the same time, another one. Okay, say this is 1 second. The same wire. Can I send 8 bits per second? Can I do that? Okay? No problem, right? So what's the speed now? No, just say this one. Let's just say it's the same wire, I just add more bits on the wire. So what's the speed for this channel? 8. We double the speed. Okay, good idea. Let's just keep adding more bits. Can we do that? Adding 2,000 a second, 20,000, 2 million, 5,000, 5 billion. Can we do that? We keep adding, right? The problem is, when you add more, the gap between different signals becomes smaller and smaller, right? So you make at a point, the signals all mess up. You cannot read anymore. So there's a capacity. You understand? Depending on the quality of the wire. With good insulation, maybe you can add more bits. With poor insulation, maybe less, in order to really receive good signals. You see my point? So it's like I got a wire, I can send, 2 megabits per second. No, then you try it. Oh, it works okay. Send more, 5 mega, 10 mega. All of a sudden, the signal are bad. I cannot receive any signal anymore. Also depend on the environment. If that wire goes to lots of magnetic fields, faceted area, and that is going to change the speed, or you gotta reduce it to make sure you get good transmission. So there are many factors to determine the speed of your wire, depending on where you put the wire and the environment, and that will change the speed. Okay? Good. Another concept I want to show you, which is a little bit also not easy to understand. Okay, like this. Now, this is digital signals, right? Is that right? I mentioned earlier, can they travel far? No, they can't. Very short distance, I would say 5 miles. Depending on the media, 5 miles is going to be not recognizable or it's hard to read, okay? So what we try to do is make it analog signals, okay? But how can we do that? One technique we can do is this. This is 1 second, right? This is 1 second. So the frequency is 4, obvious 4. If I have 1, okay, the high voltage is 1, low voltage is 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, okay? That's the signal we want to send out, 1, 0, 0, 1, okay? I can say, if I have a higher frequency, that's 1. Lower frequency, that's 0. Lower frequency, 0. Higher frequency, that's 1. So, when I see this, I don't care what's the exact frequency. I just say, higher frequency is 1, lower 0, lower 0, 1. Can I do that? Instead of sending voltage, digital signals. Is that okay? That's doable. Convert from voltage, high voltage, low voltage, high voltage like this, into high frequency, low frequency, and high frequency. Can we do that technically? Yes, of course, we can do that, right? The process is called modulate. We modulate. It means we convert from digital signals to analog signals. Modulate, okay? M-O-D-U-L-A-T-E, modulate. Now, this signal, since the signal becomes analog signals, do you think these signals can travel far? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can travel, right? 40 miles, 50 miles, wireless even, 100 miles. Depend, again, you know, there are many factors. If there's a thunderstorm, of course, the signal is going to be different. But it will travel, okay? Now, when this signal reaches the destination, do you think the signal is going to be as good as when it was sent out originally? What do you think?
No.
Yes or no?
Probably not.
50 miles. You send it out, right? This frequency, high, low, low, high. And when the receiver receives it, do you believe the signal is perfect?
No.
No.
Of course. Who say yes? No. Of course, no. I mean, we talk about analog signals, right? Right? If that's yes, perfect. You just found a new technology. Of course, no. Okay? But think about this. This signal is going to New York, right? However, I only sent 40 miles, and the signal is no good. What should I do? I send the signal to, say, Palm Springs, maybe less, you know, somewhere between here and New York. There's another tower, catch a signal. Okay, I got it. But this is no good. It's getting bad. It looks like this. Maybe like this. I'm not good in drawing, but you know, something like this, okay? Oh, look at this. If I keep sending, it will disappear. And not recognizable. What should I do? Think about this. What can we do? It's still, at that time, you can recognize 1001, right? Barely. What do you do? Can you
Repeat it.
repeat the signal, right? You have a device called repeater. They read it 1001, and then they regenerate brand new signal again to the next station. Can they do that? Called repeater. Repeat all the way to New York. If all your equipment are working well, the wires are good, everything good, eventually in New York, are you going to get 1001? Perfect. Do you follow me? Right? Because every time you get a signal which has been damaged, you send out a brand new signal, 1001, to the next station, next one. When you get it in New York, okay, you got 1001, perfect. Okay? If that 1001 is an email, do you get perfect email without any problem, right? Okay? Now think again. If you don't do this, you use digital signals, transmit all the way to New York. Still we can do that, but we need a repeater every mile. In other words, we may need like 50,000 repeaters. I don't know how many, 5,000 repeaters. That's not economical. Also, this signal cannot be transmitted without wires, right? You need real cable, every mile a repeater, all the way to New York. Economically, not feasible. Do you understand? That's why this is a good solution. Wireless with repeaters all the way to New York. Can we use the same technology for your cell phones? Wireless from the tower. Can we do that? Can we use the technology for your videos, internet connection, Wi-Fi, all right? Many things, right? Or metropolitan, what's called the metropolitan area network. It covers the whole city. So this is good technology using repeaters. And the whole thing is called digital transmission because it's so digital. See that digital? Although we use analog signals. I will cover that a little more later on, okay? But you know that this is how it works, right? Now, of course, after the receiver gets the signal 1001, on the other end, there's a computer. I want this to get an email from the sender, right? Now, are we supposed to bring this back to digital signals so the computer can take it and see the email? Are we supposed to bring this back? What do you think? Yes or no? See, the computer can only take digital signals, right? No, this is analog, electromagnetic waves. The computer cannot recognize this. So are we going to bring this back? Yes? You think so?
Yeah.
Yes. So then we bring it back to 1001 using a cable, right? Plugging a cable, you know, that the signal goes into a computer. Everything digital inside computer. Like coaxial cable, I'm sorry, twisted pair wire, plug-in, RJ45, that signals. Or we have to use Wi-Fi. Again, I have to make another conversion into electronic magnetic waves and go back to your computer, convert back into digital. So lots of conversion. So then the computer can use the signal to make it an email. It's an email. This process is called demodulate. This process, what was the name? Remember? Module. So modulate is to convert from what signal to what signal. Remember? Digital to what? Analog. What's the purpose to modulate your signal? What's the purpose? It can travel, right? It will travel to a long distance. Then how about demodulate is convert from what to what? From which signal?
Digital.
Analog back to digital. Then what's the purpose for that? So your computer can read because everything inside your computer are digital signals. Now, if you take modulate, M-O and D-E-N, how do you spell that? How do you pronounce this? Modem. Have you heard that before? That's the purpose to have a modem, to modulate when you send out, demodulate when you receive. So that's why you use a pair of modem, right? Modulate, demodulate, it's called modem. Have you heard that? Modem all the time, right? Okay, that's it. That's why we call it modem. Okay? Is that okay with this idea, right? So it's going to work, right? Okay, good. Now let's continue the bandwidth. What's the bandwidth? Like I mentioned earlier, we have multiple channels, right? Each channel, okay, I'll erase this. Okay, let's just say each channel can transmit certain number of bits, okay? All right, this is 1 second. How about, let me use, analog signals. It doesn't matter, it could be digital, could be analog. We'll use the same example so we don't get too confused. Okay. Okay, as you can see, there are two channels. The first channel will transmit 1001. Second channel is 0101. Total 8 bits per second. That's the speed, right? 2 channels. Now, is that possible we can transmit multiple channels on a single wire? Can we do that? You have one wire, but then this frequency, we just know frequency, right? Say it's from 50 hertz to 3,500 hertz. Just give you an example. This channel is from 4,000 hertz to 8,000 hertz. Can we separate into two different channels? Can we do that? Okay, people say yes, people say no. Okay, how about let's do one experiment in class, and then you can tell me yes or no in class, okay? Now, when you say, I want you to say a word clearly, say hello.
Hello.
Good pronunciation, all right? Do you think his voice has a high frequency or low frequency? Huh? Low? Low? Agree, right? Okay. Can you say hello the same way? You? Yeah. Can you say that? Can you say hello?
Yes, hello.
Oh, say it, right? Hello. The same speed. Say it again.
Hello.
Louder.
Hello.
High frequency or low frequency? Higher or lower? 9 hertz. Higher. So they are on different frequency, right? Make sense? You can tell, right? High, low. Okay. Can you say the same thing? Hello.
Hello.
High or low?
Higher.
You say low? Higher, right? Okay. Is that fair to say? 2 ladies, they have similar frequency? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yes. Similar. Say similar. Now, if they use similar frequency, can we tell the difference? They are on the same frequency, so they kind of mix together, right? It's mixed when they say something. Am I correct? Now, when this lady and that gentleman, they say the same thing in different frequency, can we tell there are 2 different voices?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this experiment. All right, how's that? You just say hello, hello. Don't say hello. Oh, hello. No, just hello, okay? Like a normal person. All right, okay? And 2 ladies will say that. They are in the same frequency, and you cannot tell there are 2 voices. Hard to tell. And a lady and a gentleman, and when they say that, the same thing, you tell there are 2 channels. And that's how it works. Let's try it, okay? I say 1, 2, 3, you say hello, okay? 2 ladies
At the
first.
same time?
Yeah, at the same time. 2 ladies, all right? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
You have to say it at the same time. Okay, all right. Okay. You say hello, right? It's not that hard, right? Listen. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
How to tell, right? Let's try both of you. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
You see 2 voices, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it works. This is called bandwidth. When you have a bigger frequency difference, you can divide that into many channels. 1 hello, 1 hello. You follow me? But when you have the same frequency, you can't. Now, when you have a media, a wire, if you can send information from a certain range of frequency, can you divide that into many channels? Can you do that? Just like voice. Higher, lower, 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 like different channels. Is that possible? Yes. Okay, if that's possible, when we have a big bandwidth means the difference between the highest frequency and lowest frequency is bigger. The bandwidth is the difference between high the highest and lowest frequency of that media. If you have a bigger bandwidth, means there are many channels we can use. You understand? So each channel can be used to send one type of signals, one channel, two channels. All right? No. And that's why when you make a phone call, actually the telephone company, they only have maybe one wire, but they carry 2 million phone calls simultaneously. Is that amazing? That's how it works. Okay. In details, I can tell you what happened in details. Our human voice, okay? Do you know the range of our human conversation? From, say, when you say something, that's about 50 hertz. Okay. When you scream, that's about 4,000, the max hertz. That's our human voice. How about anything beyond 5,000 hertz? Can you hear? Can you hear? No. Is there any 5,000 hertz voice in this space? Of course, yes. The dogs, do you know their hertz? Sometimes, do you have a dog? Anybody has a dog? Okay. Sometimes the dog will start barking, right? And then what do? What's wrong with you? You keep the dog. Say, why? Because the dog can hear something you don't hear. Is that right? Like a siren, right? Like an ambulance. Very far away, you don't hear anything, they start barking, oh, then the ambulance come by. And the dolphin, the whales, they have different frequency. Do you understand? They hear something we don't hear. So in this air, where lots of frequency we don't hear. Do you understand? We don't hear anything. The human intonation is about maybe 4,000, depending on each person, it could be different. That's how you do. Like, say this is 50 hertz, this is 4,000 hertz. That's your intonation. No matter how you say, how are you, or that's about this, right? Now, if you have a media, 8,000 hertz, is that fair to say you can transmit 2 telephone calls simultaneously? Can we do that? You simply bring the same pattern upstairs, upgrade that, or add more frequency to another level, different channel. Of course, this cannot be heard by a human ear, but when you reach the other end, you bring back to our human hertz. So all of them will hear that. So when you transmit, it can be very high frequency, nobody hears, that's fine. But when you reach the destination, they bring back to this level, so we can hear. So if that's the case, for a bandwidth of 8,000 hertz, how many channels can we transmit for telephone calls? In this case, 8,000 hertz. How many? 2. One, this one, 50 to 4,000. Another one is 4,000 to 8,000, about. So just about. Can we send 2 channels? Means the same media or wireless, it doesn't matter. Can we send out 2 telephone calls simultaneously? Yes or no? Can we do that? Yes. Now I have a media, 16,000 hertz. Okay, 16,000 hertz. How many channels can we send out, telephone calls wise? How many? 4. Say 4,000 each channel, right? 16,000, 4 channels. Okay? If you have a fiber optic cable, which is, what's the speed? Let's just say coaxial cable. 1 gigabits per second. That's the speed, right? Is that right? Speed, right? If we convert it to bandwidth, we say the lowest frequency, I don't have the data, but we can find out easily. The lowest frequency and highest frequency divided by the channel, the bandwidth for the channel. We can figure out how many channels it can transmit. Is that right? Am I correct? And also that could be converting to speed. If you have 2,000 channels transmitting signals simultaneously, that's going to be lots of speed, lots of bits per second. Because all your voice are converting to 1 zeros nowadays. It's called digital transmission. Okay, when you say, how are you? Actually, what's going to happen is, how are you are going to be converted into 100101101, you know, all that, and sent to the destination, and convert back to how are you? Does that make sense? So in other words, next time when you make a phone call, domestic, international, your conversation is actually transmitted along with other 2 million conversations together on the same wire, but in different channel. Okay? And since they use different frequency to carry the conversation, do you interfere each other? Use different channel? Do you interfere each other? Don't, you don't. Like your channel is a lower frequency, yours is higher, you kind of travel in different level, you don't interfere. So I can hear your voice, I can hear your voice too. Do you follow me? Sometimes, I think a telephone company messes it up, like you happen to share the same channel with another conversation, with another person or something. So here people talking, like 3 people, 5 people talking at the same time, you don't even know that person. Did that happen before? Yeah, they kind of, a technical error, they mix the channel, like you two talking, can hear each other. Do you follow me? So this technology allows telephone company to utilize their equipment, facility, network to carry lots of information simultaneously. Alright? So when you have a large bandwidth, that means you can create more channels. Right? One example is, do you have a cable TV at home? How many wires do you have for that connection, for cable TV? How many wires? One. One wire. How many channels can you receive? 200, 500. Why? Are you supposed to have 500 wire? No. One wire. How come you have 500 channels using that single wire? What happened? Do they just send that signal through the wire at any time? You switch. For example, people ask me, when you switch to channels, right? All of a sudden, the signal becomes that only channel. Only one signal coming from that channel. Is that the case? Is that the case? No. They send 500 signals simultaneously in different frequency. The channel switch is only allow you to switch to certain frequency, so you get that signal. You present that signal. For other signal, you still receive it, but you choose not to see it. You follow me? So that's why one coaxial cable can provide you with 5,000 channels. Can we do the same thing for your telephone system? One wire,